Hey everybody, Adam Savage here in my cave. I've been recently unpacking my Iron Man costume because I took it to Kansas City to Planet Comicon recently, where in addition to doing autographs and photographs like I do at a con, I also brought my Captain America stealth suit so I could do photo ops in costume. I learned this trick from John Barrowman. And it's a great thing. I love it. I love taking pictures with other Captain Americas. I love taking a picture with, I love taking a picture with the fans. That's a real delight. And one of the other things that happens at the cons is that fans bring me gifts. And I wanted to highlight some of the great and weird and wonderful stuff I came back from Kansas City with. First and foremost is someone who gave me a perfume called Eau de Space. Decades ago, astronauts aboard the ISS noticed something strange after returning from a spacewalk and secured in the safety hatch and taking off their EMUs, the extravehicular mobility units. They smelled something strange, a rather pleasant metallic sensation like sweet-smelling welding fumes. You're singing my tune right there. Like I can picture that smell in my nose, I guess. And it turns out this is the smell of space. The smell of space is so distinct, NASA has reached out to a fragrance maker to recreate the odor. Oh, wow, this was made, wow. So NASA's goal of simulating space during training is to eliminate any surprises astronauts might experience. See, NASA is a ritualized failure analysis organization, and so including every possible parameter is really smart money for their take. And here I have this beautiful, amazing #1 Eau de Space, and this is supposedly what space smells like. It's not an unpleasant metallic sweet welding fumes kind of smell. That is actually really nice. I mean, what's funny is if you smelled it on someone, it's not overly pleasant or unpleasant. It's sort of like, it definitely smells like an environmental smell. Wow, they really nailed that description. A rather pleasant metallic sensation like sweet-smelling welding fumes, burning metal, a distinct odor of ozone, and acrid smell, walnuts and brake pads, gunpowder, fruit, rum, and burnt almond cookie. That's the greatest recipe I have ever heard. Hold on, I'm gonna read this whole list again. Sweet-smelling welding fumes, burning metal, a distinctive odor of ozone, an acrid smell, walnuts and brake pads, gunpowder, fruit, rum, and burnt almond cookie. Even the first space tourists exclaimed about a pungent aroma, quote, like burnt cookies once the hatch opened. Dude, I'm gonna be catching whiffs of this all day today. You're right up my alley. I will put it next to the perfumes I have. I have a perfume for old books. There's 2 different colognes. I also have 2 different colognes that supposedly smell like money. They don't quite unless you combine them, and then they kind of smell like money. Okay, that's the first. I just can't get enough of that list. Okay. Secondly, Rebel Legion made me an honorary member badge. I have a couple of these. Thank you so much, Rebel Legion makers. I will proudly wear this. Hold on. There we go. Awesome. Thank you. Patches are always something I get at cons, and I've got to figure out a way to display these because I got so many beautiful patches from different local Rebel Legions and Ghostbusters troops, Ninja Turtles, also police, and somebody made me this one or gave me this one. I love it. Basically, different trooping groups of Ghostbusters or Aliens or Star Wars often make their own patches. And they're really beautiful. I love the variance of design. In fact, I never throw away the patches, which is why I have like bags and bags and bags of them. And like I said, I have to figure out a way to display them. Hold on, there's more. Wait a second. And I'm quite sure this isn't all of them. I really have to figure out like a nice big book with 4-inch pouches where I can put one patch in each one and someone can flip through all of them and I could categorize them, because such a thing is necessary. I hold on to beautiful bits of design like this because they're such, each one of these is a story about somebody gathering together with their friends and saying, let's do something neat. Let's make something permanent from our association. And then they're doing it. And I find the exercise and the output really moving. So thank you, everyone who brings me your beautiful patches. I really appreciate it. And I do have a plan someday to deal with all, there's all this law enforcement and all this military stuff in here. It's fabulous. Okay, so those are the patches from the con. Somebody who really appreciated one of our early Mythbusters episode, Killer Playing Card. The question is, could you actually kill someone by throwing a playing card at them? And this is the episode in which it was discovered that I'm really good at throwing playing cards. We brought in one of my all-time heroes, the legendary magician, Ricky Jay, who is the author of the famous book, Cards as Weapons, which is an unbelievably magnificent book. It is very hard to find. It's way out of print. It is hundreds of dollars if you can find a copy. I own a copy. Stupidly, I did not have Ricky sign it when he was in town. And Ricky is no longer with us, R.I.P. He was an amazing magician, an amazing communicator and collector of stories and talking about magic ephemera. It was incredible to have him on the set. And we even had a showdown with playing cards where we threw them at each other and Ricky ritually killed me with a playing card. Well, a fan came to Planet Comicon and brought me actually lethal playing cards. This is a deck of metallic playing cards. Each one is individually wrapped. I only got through about half of them in the unwrapping. I will get through the other half. This is beautiful, and it's a limited edition. This is only number 122 of 300. They're called Stainless Bear metal playing cards by Home Run Games. Absolutely lovely. I appreciate that you saw that I'm good at throwing them and you decided to give me something that would actually make me a dangerous person with a deck of playing cards. This will go in the playing cards shelf because I do have a collection of weird and wonderful playing cards. A fan inspired by the whip making I did on Mythbusters for my Raiders of the Lost Ark episode made me this beautiful whip out of what do you call this? Parachute cord. Sometimes this thing works a little slower than we want it to. This is beautiful. So it is woven in the same way as a whip. It is, I'm guessing maybe 6 plate, but I'm not sure. This might be 12 plate. It is lovely. And a real whip is made in exactly this fashion. And there's a whole hobby thing out there of making whips out of paracord, which is a lot cheaper and easier to use than leather. And I'm not going to crack it in here because that's a great way to hurt myself. But this is a lovely, lovely piece. And surprisingly, the TSA had no issues with me having a whip in my bag. Apparently, it's not something they're looking for. The last, but definitely not least, comes a pretty incredible Iron Man Mark I helmet with Savage's, my Savage NASA worm logo up front and on the back, and then also Mythbusters. This is a 3D printed piece. Daniel Apor, you're my role model, thank you, is how he has signed it. First of all, it's a terrific Iron Man Mark I. Light as a feather, well finished, a really nice paint job. He's using blacks and browns. I see a little bit of the sponge texture on here as he's doing the sponge work, but you know, that probably doesn't show on camera very much. This is a terrific effort. And I will tell you that Daniel and a friend of his, I noticed them before they even came up to my autograph table because they were wearing a pair of Iron Man suits that they built, all 3D printed, with each of them had part of the mask burned or blown away with a skull underneath. It was a really specific deep cut kind of Iron Man cosplay that they were doing. The costumes were clearly not very comfortable, which, I mean, any full costume of hard parts is never going to be comfortable. You get all sorts of pinches, which we call armor bites. But Daniel and his friend, they really were quite striking, the pair of them. I think we have some pictures that we're running over this. Yeah, they were really quite striking. And then when they finally came up to my autograph table and handed me this, it was pretty moving. This is terrific. This goes up in the helmet collection and it will stay there forever. Daniel, an incredible effort with your costumes and also with this gift. And everybody at Kansas City Comic-Con. That was my first con of the year and the first time I have done Planet Comicon. I can't tell you how much fun I have. I love Kansas City. I love the ribs. I love the people. I love the con. I will see you guys next time I'm invited. And yeah, I will figure out a way to display these patches, and I would love your suggestions for patch display so that visitors to the shop could come look through them, for instance. All right, I'm Adam Savage. I'll see you next time. One of the things I love about this channel is that we don't make how-to videos so much as we make what happened videos. And what almost always happens are mistakes and screw-ups. In fact, they're completely integral to making and honestly to being a person. And to celebrate this, Tested has a new batch of demerit badges for the screw-ups you will encounter in the shop. From left to right, we have touching your paint job, assembling things backwards, losing a tiny screw or part, gluing your fingers together, and smashing your thumb. And frankly, if you haven't done both of these, even if you're not a maker, I just don't feel like you've experienced enough of the world. I'm not saying get out a hammer and smash your thumb, but I will tell you that the blacker your fingernail after the injury, the less it's gonna hurt in the long run. I almost forgot, these make excellent additions to your shop apron, and they are available at tested-store.com.